Welcome to the Leader Mentality Show with Rob Clemens. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about something that anybody who's been in the business world might have experienced, and that is all about family businesses. If you're in a family business, you want to establish yourself, you want to maintain the culture of the business, you want to make your own path though, and so how do you do that? How do you keep that perfect synchronous transition from the current ownership to the new ownership? How does it work? I'll tell you what, today I have two very special fellows on the show because they're doing it right now and doing it in an epic way. I want to introduce to the show from International Construction Services, we have Fernando Posada and also Miguel. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
Man, good to have you. It's a 2-for-1 special today. I don't usually get to do two, so this is going to be great, man. Guys, I know a lot about your business because I did some research leading up to the show, and I've also heard of you before. Started in 1995 when you guys were probably like -5 years old. I mean, young guys, right? So, but your dad started this, and he started it with a purpose and a mission. I want to get into that a little bit and how you guys came into play. But before we dive into all that, what are you guys up to lately, man?
Well, right now, in the middle of remodeling a BB&T bank. We're actually opening up one of our first storefront offices.
Okay.
So when my parents started the business, my mom and father started the business.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nick, and he was the head.
And by the way, before we get on from that, was mom the serious one or dad the serious one? Or are they both serious?
My dad is the more serious.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Usually they got to transition off of each other a little. Yeah.
It's a perfect mix.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But she was more, in-house office scheduling, and he was in the field.
There you go.
But we're in the middle of remodeling a BB&T bank. Fulfilling one of their dreams was to have a big storefront office.
Okay.
They kind of built the office that we're in right now, like a plan B. It looks like a house.
Okay.
So in case business didn't work out,
it still could be a house.
Sell it as a house, right?
Yeah.
As you see now, since '95, businesses, we're still in business. Things are going well for us. So we've decided to, open up a big storefront office. Big signs. Big teal roof because those are our colors.
Teal, yeah, nice. Shants up, by the way. You're in coastal Carolina country here, so
I see it all the time. Over here because of that.
Right on.
But we're in the middle of remodeling that BB&T bank, and we should be able to move in within the next 7 to 8 months.
That's awesome, man. Well done. So you, Fernando, you are actually the vice president of the company. Miguel, you are the operations director. Take me on a day-to-day of what you're doing as the operations director at the company.
Day-to-day, man, I'll just make sure all our cities are doing, all the work is correctly, all the guys are tied off correctly, our boots on the ground are making sure the jobs are done correctly on time, quality, making sure safety is all good. Just everything that we promise on the front end with the builders that we have, make sure that all gets completed.
Man, I like that. Let's stay on this subject for a minute. We talk about roofing, professional roofers, and I want to get into a little bit about what makes you special, and I kind of feel like you're telling me that. But when you get into the roofing side, you talked about safety. How do you install safety in a business that's traditionally not really that many people being safe? I mean, how do you get that established throughout your company?
Well, it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy. It's definitely a battle that we still face, 30 years later. It's something that every day we're having that conversation. Every day it's a reminder. Yeah. And that's kind of how you face it. Every day, all our area managers will grab our roofers before they even are out on the roof and inspect all their safety equipment. Do you have the correct anchor? Do you have the correct harness that you have to tie up from the D-ring on the back? Do you have the eyewear? Do you have? It's a checklist that they run through.
Yeah.
Cool. Now you have it. Let me see you put it on, and then you're on the roof.
Now you can get up.
Because we've had circumstances. Now we don't see it as often.
Yeah.
But you'll check a roof, you'll check a crew, and they're doing perfect. You drive away, and let me just go back 20 minutes later.
I forgot my camera.
Let me go 20 minutes later, and then there no hard hats, no this, no
Man.
guys. Come on, So sometimes it feels like management cares more about getting these guys home. And when you help them realize, hey, it's to get you guys home safely. It's not just because there's going to be fines. We also offer a reward system.
Okay.
That's been game changer for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't always ruling with an iron fist saying there's a fine if you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
No, we actually say, you know what? We'll also give you a little bonus for this job, this project, if we come out surprise inspection, and everything is in order.
Yeah, man, I love it. That's modern management to me. You know, it's like the old school style of management was, hey, we're going to penalize you if you don't do this. We're going to write you up if you don't do that. But what about like the opposite thing, which is rewarding those who are actually buying into the mission? And that's really powerful. One thing I know about the roofing industry, and you guys know I have a little background in this too, it's that the guys on that roof are a different breed. And when I say they're a different breed, like they'll stand up looking 40 feet down at the ground and not even sweat it. You got to be special to even do it in the first place.
The guy's breakfast is Red Bull.
Yeah.
they eat breakfast Red Bull, and then they're going home. Their one meal is dinner. And I'm like,
exactly. Yeah, it's like you're sweating out everything on the roof. So I can feel you on that, but it does, because that is part of, it's in the blood a little bit. You do have to keep reminding them. I'll tell you one thing I did years ago, and I own a construction company as well. I had that. I actually put a message up on the board. You guys ever hear of a NASCAR driver named Dale Earnhardt? You probably heard of Dale Earnhardt, right? Like, okay, so the original Dale Earnhardt, he died on the track, and it was like, I showed this to the people because when they saw it, my staff of guys who were working out on the field, I said, why did I show that to you? And they said, well, because, life is precious. And I was like, yeah, life is precious. And they're like, because, sometimes if you take little side cuts, maybe it can cause you problems. I'm like, yeah, but I said, but the bigger thing I'm trying to tell you is NASCAR, after that happened, they got serious about safety. All of a sudden they're like, yeah, let's get safe about our cars. Let's get safe about the way we're doing this thing. I said, don't wait until somebody dies before you get safe. And, sometimes you got to get that message out. So well said, man. I appreciate that you're doing that. Now, Fernando, for you are the vice president of the company. What would you say is like your number one thing you're doing on a day-to-day?
Representing the company.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my thing. I'm checking on. So for example, just so you know how it works, internally, I'm out selling. We both sell, to a certain extent, but that's where I spend most of my time is selling, business, trying to get new contracts, out, networking, doing the events and all that. Once we're able to land accounts, that's when it goes to the production team, and that's kind of what he says. We're ensuring that we're meeting the scope of work of all our customers. He looks over the scope and he's like, cool, we can handle this. This is how we're going to handle it. Assigns crews, and we go from there.
Right on.
So that's kind of my job, is to be the face in that sense of representing, always shaking hands and trying to establish our footprint in new cities where we want to grow.
It's kind of cool because I feel like, especially in construction in general, not just roofing but construction, you have to establish early on that you're a professional company, because there's so many companies that are not really professional. So the first thing you're doing on that public face is saying, hey, check us out.
Yeah, roofers don't have the best name.
No, not at all, man. It's a brute. Well, and you get it. Like the problem, and with respect to your dad's business and your mom's business that you guys are taking over, the challenge becomes a lot of people get good at something, working with their hands, and then they think, I'm going to go out and start a business. You guys have probably had people who worked under you, and then they were like, oh, I'm going to go start a business, right? And the problem is like, yeah, you know how to do the process, but you don't necessarily know how to do the accounting, do the editing, do the managing, do the marketing, all the little things you're talking about. So to that point, I think it's important to have the public face, but it's also important to back up what you're saying. So I want to go there next. I want to talk about that a little bit. You guys have a slogan, I'm sure, kind of a way that you put it out there. How do you keep your entire large organization? How many people do you have working for you right now?
About 20.
That's a lot of people, right? The more people you have, how do you keep that message consistent with them on a day-to-day? Is it through, job site meetings, morning meetings? How do you do that?
Right now, we have meetings every Thursday and Friday with our production, with our in-house staff. And it's one thing that we, as you said, like our slogan will kind of be ICS is International Construction Services, I is integrity, C is consistency, and S is satisfaction.
Okay.
So that's one thing we pride ourselves on. We end that in all our meetings, kind of all saying that together, kind of like a hoorah type of team effort.
A little hoorah effort, right? You got a little, fist pumping. I dig that. The biggest challenge I think you run into is like, when you have that first obstacle of the day, right? Like it's like we leave, we're all feeling good, pumped up, ready for the day, and then you run into an obstacle. The mindset there is very important. Do you have like foremen on the jobs who kind of take the mantle when you're not there?
So yeah, we have a foreman in all the cities that we're in that are operating, and that's exactly how we operate and how we tell them that's how a decision would be made on our end.
Yeah.
Right? Integrity. If you see something wrong with the roof, the homeowner might not see it, roofing the way we do, but that doesn't mean that we can't get it corrected because we know it's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You correct it when you know it's wrong. Consistency, we keep doing that day in, day out. You know, we give them a good quality roof, we give them good service, and then it's going to lead to satisfaction. You know, always think about the customers. In construction, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of not, it's not like a restaurant where you get a steak, you're like, send it back. And it's tough in construction because there's different ways to go about it. Unhappy customers that maybe watch the YouTube video and the YouTube video says, this is how you do my roof.
You put this here. Yeah, right.
You know, we see it all, but at the end of the day, they're the customers. So we would like them to walk away satisfied with what we're giving them. If that takes a little bit more time explaining to that homeowner that watched the YouTube video and now is an expert, explain to them kind of why we do it differently, explain to them that maybe these shingles might be different, manufacturer specs, whatever the case may be. We want them to walk away satisfied with the product that we're giving them. So in those 3 words, those are the key words for us to continue our growth, because if we're operating from the ground up, the roofers also know this as well. When they're in the field, they might see a bad framing. Hey, don't just cover up the
Don't just
framing
cover it up.
issue.
But man, it's such a mindset thing, though, because it's tough. And when you guys are up at the top, and you are at the top of your organization in your respective positions, but it's tough sometimes because these guys who are working on the roof, they're thinking, it's 115 degrees up here. I'm nailing. The sooner I get done with this, the quicker I can go back to my family and get off this roof. So it's hard to really establish that, guys, it's so important to call the timeout and do it the right way. But I respect that a lot, man. That's something people need to know. What would you say differentiates you from other roofers? There's a lot of roofers out there. What would you say is the thing that makes you guys most unique?
I don't know. I'll just answer first and I'll go ahead.
Right.
I would say to base it on those instances, right? Like you said, it is tough.
Yeah.
But with us, we're hands-on with the roofers on a daily basis.
Right on.
You know, I think we speak to every single crew we have. We have more than 25 plus.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are checking in with us.
Yeah.
Just because of where we started. You know, my father taught us the business. It wasn't come sit beside me and learn what I'm doing.
Right.
It was go to the field.
Get up
get
on
the roof, hang out with the roofers, see what they go through.
Yeah,
this is why they don't want to wear that hard hat after, 8 hours, in the summer. You know. So he wanted us to get a feel for that.
Wow.
So we have a different respect for them. They've seen us work in those conditions. So it's not like they're like, oh, these guys, the sun zone, that's not how it works with us. We've been out there, we've done repairs, we've been with the crews. So we established that relationship, and now they've seen us grow as well. Some of the roofers have been there since my father started the business.
Yeah.
So they've seen us grow into our roles, and they're like, these guys are legit.
They got it.
They respect what we have to say. They understand where we're coming from, because I get where they're coming from. We get where they're coming from. But hey, we also have to abide by certain rules. There's a certain way to go about this business, and we've been able to tweak it. That's kind of where our success is that we're able to train crews and help those crews, those subcontractors. Yeah. They grow underneath us as well.
Okay.
If you abide by the safety, abide by the quality, and I have no problems with your guys, you can train the next crew and put them under and work for you.
Nice.
I'm going to keep giving you jobs.
It's one of the few businesses you can do that in, man. Well, okay, so I do want to ask this, because this is kind of an interesting subject that I think it applies to all businesses, though. We tend to think of what you do, but really, if you went to any restaurant right now, any retail store right now, just anywhere, there's somebody that's doing, and we need to make sure we understand how it feels at that level, right? Because as you said, fascinating. People think, why doesn't the guy want to wear his hard hat? Homeowners who might be listening right now, why doesn't he wear the hard hat? But then you get outside, it's 95 degrees, you got sweat's coming down off the hard hat, it's hot up there, you can't see.
6 hours.
You've been wearing it for 6 hours. Wearing those harnesses, they're pinching you, they're hot, So there is an element of it. It's like, you just got to take yourself out and understand what it feels like to be that person. And they got to get the vision too, why what they're doing is so important. So cool stuff. So, man, well, guys, well done. I can see that you're running a really high-quality business, and I respect that you're carrying the mantle that your dad and mom started a long time ago. So let's go into that a little bit. Now, again, operations director, vice president. Tell me a little bit about what the transition has been looking like for you guys. What's different from when your dad and mom were running it solely to what you guys have done, and how have you started to establish your value in the business?
A lot has changed, but at the same time, not much has changed.
Okay, yeah.
We bring fresh ideas. For example, just real quick off the cusp, I would have never been able to hire a full-time videographer for our company.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to happen. They're like, what is that for? What are videos for? It wasn't ever going to happen.
Yeah.
So we met on it. We're like, we kind of need one. It's more new social media. It's the new wave. It's a way to get out there. So how do we convince Pops and Mom, who's a little bit more old school, right?
Yeah.
And we were able to get him because we needed a yard guy at the time.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, part-time yard guy. Part-time videos and editing.
Wait, hold on. A yard guy? Like cutting the grass?
Not yard guy, sorry. We call him the yard guy. But he's the warehouse.
I thought you were going to get your lawnmower got it. Now that's thinking. All right, yeah.
Warehouse. We're like a warehouse.
Okay, good. Gotcha.
Warehouse help. And we were able to convince him. And we knew, we're like, after about a month, we're going to see the value in his videos. We're going to see these videos, and we know our father's more visual.
Yeah.
He's going to love the videos too. It's like, why don't we just make him do this full time?
Oh, no doubt.
We knew this going into it.
Right.
But we presented it, hey, we need this position filled, but he could also do this.
Yeah.
And that's Ishmael here, who's with us today,
Yeah.
So,
shout out to Ishmael. He's off
camera right now. But he ended up, after about a month, our father saw the value in making videos full time and doing this. He's like, no, let's bring him back in.
Yeah.
Find a warehouse guy. He's going to be full time, social media.
All right, so there's one of the pro tips. For those people who are listening, you might be like, I'm in my family business, how to establish it. First thing you have to do is you still got to work through the channels, even though you're taking it over, because look, at the end of the day, if you just went in and like, we need to hire this full-time videographer, you might not have you wouldn't have ever got there. So you had to kind of negotiate to help them see the value. And I do want to circle around, but tell me what you think.
That's kind of good. To piggyback off what you just said, that's how we've approached it.
Yeah.
You have to respect what they've done. Because, at the end of the day, we've only been here I've been here for coming up on 7.
Okay.
A year after me was 6.
Yeah.
And they've done it for so long, a certain way. So, who are we to come in and say, this is what we're doing?
Correct.
I'm the new, and by the way, we didn't get these positions or titles the first day we got here. Like I said, we had to work and, find our place. And, eventually, like we said, we play with the chip on our shoulder. We want to impress at the same time, but it's also, we all have the same goals.
Yeah,
it just makes it easy. We want to grow. We're all eating, from this. It's a profitable business. It's a great business. We've been blessed, and so we're all moving towards the same direction. And it's how do we check all the boxes? How can we work together with your insight? My father and mother, with what they bring to the table. Now with the younger generation, what we bring to the table, and I think it's been a perfect mix.
So cool.
And we get lucky because we can work together.
Dude, you guys did get lucky. Like straight up, because it doesn't always work out that seamlessly. But one of the things I've been trying to talk to businesses about recently is the power and understanding of how generations can work together to have a more complete business. And the case in point is, you got certain age groups who they have that old school hard work ethic. If you apply that around the company, that's kind of what I feel like your mom and dad did. And then you get that new school level of understanding how to mass market. I think they're better at that. It's like you don't put your ad in the phone book anymore. That's probably what your mom and dad did early on, right? But like now you're realizing this is all about quick impressions. And as we get more into the Gen Zers becoming our number one customers, we better very much embrace quick hits, man. Get that YouTube video. So Miguel, I want to ask you a little bit. You, from the operations standpoint, I'm sure that you have a little taste in the marketing and you have to do some things. How has YouTube changed your business? How do these videos change your business?
It's changed tremendously. We've actually started our YouTube channel as well a while back. We have about, I'd say, 100 subscribers now. Everything that we do, either our trainings or warehouse videos or outside videos or installation videos are all on YouTube.
Okay.
And just honestly, we've grown from people reaching out to us through YouTube, from subscriptions, comments, reviews go to YouTube. So just all together it's helped out tremendously.
Okay. So you guys do a lot of the how-to videos?
Well, if I may chime in, from those how-to videos on YouTube, they've actually asked us to host like seminars.
Okay.
We've had guys come in, customers, some of our large customers, like, can we send our supervisors to go learn, because they know everything. They kind of know everything about building house, right?
Yeah.
But can we send them to go learn the nitty gritty about roofing with you guys? Well, yeah.
Understand.
And we brought them out, 50 plus guys, and we're out there with these little, there's actually big dog houses that we have.
Yep.
And we're throwing up a roof, showing them, the details, the intricacies, flashing here, ice and water, the whole nine.
Big dog houses, like Great Dane dog houses, right? Yeah. Yeah, you got to put a 10-12 pitch on it. And well, here's the thing that I thought was kind of cool. You talked about the how to do it, so you have a lot of do-it-yourselfers now. We call them DIY people. They're going to watch the video and they think they understand it. There's a little bit of art for them to, here's how you do it, and you make it look so complicated. People are like, no, I need to call Fernando and Miguel and International. But no, I feel you on that. Tell me a little bit about you guys when you were younger and growing up. Did you think when you were 7, 8 years old, 10 years old that you were going into the roofing business? Tell me about your paths, man. We'll start with. Let's start with you. Yeah.
I'll be honest. Growing up, I never once saw myself against the business.
Yeah.
Even just through school, I just. It's completely different seeing it now as an adult, kind of what they were going through, making sure the business was running smoothly, making sure everything was getting done. So as a kid, I just never really saw myself as I see them stressed out and not ever going to be involved, never.
Yeah.
Now being older, with my brothers, I see everything that they went through. Now it's on our shoulders, so I definitely respect everything they've gone through. I for sure now, I love it. Can't say anything about it.
Man, you guys have said the word respect a number of times here, and I love that, man. It's like such a cool thing, because I feel like that one reason. You guys ever hear the story about how the business is thriving, then the kids take over and the business goes down? You had to have heard it. It's a lifelong cautionary tale, but I feel like it's because the respect wasn't there. They didn't understand the hard passion that the parents had when they started, or whoever started it. Just that passionate when nobody was looking, when you're putting in the 16-hour days, and just nobody even understood that. And then the kids take over, they're like, well, good. But you guys are really like seriously having the respect, so I dig that, man. And I bet that's passing through your whole organization. So well done on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Fernando, what about you, man? Were you going to be a little roofer from the age of 6?
Never. I was supposed to be Messi and Ronaldo right now playing soccer. So making millions somewhere, that type of thing. That was the goal. And I actually played a semi-professional a little bit. I played in Australia. I played in Colombia.
Nice.
But after pay's not what it's supposed to be. At such a entry level.
Yeah.
I just decided to come back and see if my father needed help at the time. And he didn't really want to bring me on board because he thought I'd take a step back, just kick back.
Yeah.
But that's why I say I play with a chip on my shoulder, because okay, you think I'm gonna come in and relax? No. I've seen to pick up on what you were saying is that we've seen the struggle.
Yeah.
I saw them start, in a rental apartment with the little TV dinner boxes, writing on a little yellow notepad the schedule, the roofing schedule. I've seen them take late night phone calls, early mornings. My father driving, commuting every single day. I saw that grind, and it's still with us today. It's still with us today. And that's kind of where the biggest mesh that I see is maybe my generation doesn't know about that work ethic that is needed, to really get to have nothing, create something. Luckily, we didn't have to do that, because I look at them, I don't know if I would be able to.
Yeah, that's real.
Nothing.
No, I get you.
I started from with a head start. We started from a head start, and it would be almost disrespectful if we were to let it fall.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's why we play with that chip on our shoulder, and we only want to keep growing, because if you're not growing, you're dying. So that's kind of where we come and we approach it every single day. That work ethic that we saw back when we were growing up, we remember that. And it's still with us today, and that's why we approach it just with our own twist.
Very real, man. I appreciate that. If you look up on the board, the people off screen can't see it, but I talk about, that's my brand of leadership, learning continuously and enthusiasm for what you do. But one of the things that you said that hit me in the leadership is, guys, there's a beautiful thing that happens. You young guys, I'm less young nowadays, but anyway, but I know what it was like, man. You start off as a little kid and it's all about what I need to survive. And as you get older, it's a little less what you need and a little less and a little less, and to the point where now you can give it back. You can help others grow. So the way I see you guys is your parents set you up for success. Now you get the blessing of setting everybody else up for success. So that's really cool, man. I want to talk about that sports thing a little bit. I use a lot of sports analogies in business, like a lot. Like anybody who listens to the show, I'll go out, I'll do a public speaking event to a room full of people. I'll be like, any sports fans? And if no hands raised, I'm like, oh boy.
Well, you're going to hear this story. I do that.
You get ready for some stories you're not going to understand. But the deal is, it's so synonymous with business, man. How did you practice? What was your mindset going in? When the defense did something the offense wasn't expecting, how did you adapt to it? That's the marketing side, right? What have you brought from your sports career into the business that you feel like helps you succeed?
Playing like you're a professional.
Yeah.
What do professionals do? Their body's their temple. They eat right. They study the game film. They train every day.
Yep.
That's what we have to do as business owners to watch it grow, to read the market.
Yeah.
Market's slow, market's fast. When is it time to make a good investment? When is it good to make a good play? See what's out there, see what's working for other companies, see where marketing is going to take us. And again, consistently hone on your craft. My sales craft, when I go to these meetings, is not perfect, but I'm consistently tweaking, see what I can do. Why didn't I get this account? How do I get this next one? I got this one, what I do well, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You're always tweaking what you can do and just approach it like you're a professional athlete. Every day, try to work on your craft and get better every day.
Man, that's fire right there. And I'll tell you why I love what he just said. And the thing is, if we approached, everybody loves sports. What amazes me, after the Super Bowl's over, we'll all sit down and be like, oh, did you see what they did in that game? I can't believe they did that. We are breaking down things that really don't matter in the big scope of things. It doesn't matter who won the Super Bowl. I mean, it makes us excited, but it really doesn't matter on your day-to-day. It's not going to help you feed your family. But why don't we put more of that time and passion into what we do for a living? So when you talked about it, some people just take the, oh, woe with me approach. Oh, man, it's a shame. Business is slow. Oh, I wish we had the marketing money of these other people. And I'm like, if you were a sports team, you wouldn't just lay down. You go, all right, we got to change the strategy. And what are they doing that's working? How do we adapt? So you on the operations side, I'm sure you have a lot of that. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you see coming in the roofing industry, and how are you guys adapting to it?
Technology, honestly. Right now we're doing drones all over. All our area managers have drones, and kind of just keeping up with the market of mainly just how fast technology is coming. There's machines already roofing. Obviously, there's astronomical prices, but just keeping up with that market, technology-wise, honestly, that's the main thing that's coming pretty quickly that we don't really, see.
Yeah, and it's like staying ahead of that, and that's where you guys come in handy. That's a cool story, guys. Like, it's really neat to hear about how you've gotten to where you are and what you're doing with the business. So now, as we get towards that last few minutes of the show, I want to talk a little bit about, for the people who are in a family business, whether you're taking it over, whether you're just working in it, whether you're the parent or the kid, tell me a little bit about a tip you might have that you would give to somebody who's in that situation, how they can thrive. So
one tip I would say is, as family, we can always get on each other's nerves on the day. But no, just, business is business and family is family. And maybe it's how we were raised as well. Our bond as brothers can never be broken, no matter what it is. And that's one thing that we take, pride that we can go head to head about something problem. At the end of the day, hey bro, love you bro. We're good, like that's business. So it's kind of that approach is that business is business and family's always gonna be family, and kind of we always take care of each other.
Dude, you know what? I love that answer so much. The reason I say that is when we're in life, man, you want to know that you can get into a disagreement with somebody who really has your best interest at heart. Isn't that a beautiful thing, man? And in a family business, hopefully, if your family culture is good, you have that opportunity. I can't always know if I don't truly know what's in your heart. If I don't know if you're in it with me, I can't know when you necessarily have my best interest at heart. Hey guys, I'm going to wear my bathing suit to work today. What do you think? Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Rob. But like you guys, you can disagree. You can probably say something that like some constructive criticism, but through that friction, you're going to come out with something better at the end of the day, man. That's powerful. I love that. Yeah, cool stuff.
To piggyback off of kind of what he said and what you were saying about the bathing suit, mine is honesty. You have to just be fully transparent with everybody in the business. We all at the end of the day we're looking for the same goal. We want to grow the company. We all want to make money. But at the end of the day, we are family. So it's good to be brutally honest. That way, there's never a misunderstanding. You know exactly where we stand on certain subjects. This is where I'm standing. That's where you stand. Cool. There's disagreements. but as long as you're brutally honest, I think that's my biggest takeaway, and that's why I've felt there's been success here. Because what you may not like what we have to say, now there's ways to say it, but at least you said it.
Man, and it's hard because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, especially people you care about. But you talk about the communication style. I like what you said, and this is a tip I have for all managers. Look, you can't go through life just, oh, hey, man, good job today. And I was making a joke. I never tried to wear a bathing suit to work, but let the record show. But if you did, it's not easy to maybe hurt somebody's feelings, but if you communicate it properly, here's one that I have, and we talked about this in the past. Some of the best advice I ever heard was from one of my mentors in business, and he said, there's people who like the fashion statement. They'll go to, work with earrings on, okay? And it's hard to have that conversation. Hey, man, I don't know if the earrings are your way. But he said, listen, here's a way of looking at it. If I go to a customer, I'm never going to sell a job because they liked my earrings. If I, as a guy, am wearing earrings, I'm never going to sell a job because they're like, man, I like your earrings. I'm going to give you the contract. But they might not do business with me for it. So I'm not saying change who you are, but if I could maximize my success, if I could guarantee I'm going to sell a job, I'm going to listen, man. And sometimes it's not easy to hear what you got to hear. But you know what? If I know the person's really looking out for me, like your family business, then it all works out, right? Cool stuff, man. Awesome, dude. Well, hey, you guys, man, I appreciate everything you brought to the show today. Couple of good-looking guys here working in the construction industry, man. I definitely think you guys got a long way to go, and you're going to take your business to new levels. With that being said, tell me a little bit about how people can find out more about you and your company.
Follow us on Instagram, AINTL. What is it?
ICS _Inc. On all social medias, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X now that is called.
Yep.
Everything, all the social medias is ICS _Inc.
Man, that's an operations manager taking over right there.
And stay tuned. It's for people also to learn. Our content is based around trying to teach you something. So if you want to learn something about roofing, before you can be in Colorado and you're shopping around for roofers, you can look at our content just to see, anything that you might learn to be able to speak to that roofing contractor coming to your house.
Nice, man. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that I really appreciate about what you guys did today. I got a vibe from you that you're not looking like you got to go get every job in town. You want to be the best contractor option for the people who are picking you, but you're not looking at this like, hey, look, I must crush all competition. It sounds like to me you've been invested in making a better brand of business, better roofing brand of business for everybody. So well done, man. I appreciate having you guys on the show. All right, Fernando, Miguel, and you guys check out International Construction Services. They got a lot to offer. Wherever you are, they're all over the place. Check them out online. And for those who are listening, we hope you got something good today. If you're in a family business, just know there's a right way to do it. There's also wrong ways to do it. So make sure you always live with respect. I like that a lot. And just knowing that, sometimes the brutal honesty is the best thing when you know you're all in it together. So we'll leave you off with that. We want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks to our sponsors, and make sure to like and share us on social media. And with that, I'll say we're signing out with the Leader Mentality Show and Rob Clemens.